Good morning, my beloved students, and warm welcome for all to today's biology class. We have already learned about the reproduction in some familiar animals, human beings, hens, frog, fish, etc. Then what about the reproduction take place in small organisms like Hydra and microscopic organisms like Amoeba? Do you know how they reproduce? Today let us discuss about the reproduction in Hydra and Amoeba. Do you know what is the structure of Hydra? Look at the board. This is Hydra. It has some hands-like structure called tentacles. While observing the structure of Hydra, we can see some bulges. Here one, here one, here one. Can you see any differences between these bulges? Here it is small. The next figure we can see it develops some more. And the third figure we can see it grows more. And these bulges are called buds. These buds are responsible to give rise to a new individual. In Hydra, new organisms or new individuals are developing from these bulges. So, the process is known as budding. The formation of new individuals from the bulges of the body is called budding. What is the type of reproduction in Hydra? Budding. That means new individuals or young ones of Hydra is developing from these bulges which we can see on their body. When the bulges grows fully, it detaches from the mother body and led a new life. Dears, in the reproduction of Hydra, only a single parent is involved. Such a reproduction is called asexual reproduction. In Hydra, the type of asexual reproduction is budding. Okay, dears, next let us find out the reproduction in Amoeba. You already know that the structure of Amoeba, it has irregular shape and also it has projections, and these projections are called pseudopodia, which is helpful for them to move and also to capture food. Okay. Amoeba starts its reproduction by dividing the nucleus into two. We know that Amoeba is a unicellular organism. Its body consists of only single cell. It has nucleus, cytoplasm, plasma membrane, etc. First, it begins its reproduction by the division of the nucleus into two nuclei. And the single nucleus divides to form two nuclei. Later, the cytoplasm starts to divide. It forms a barrow in between the two nuclei. And next step, we can see each piece of cytoplasm takes one of the nucleus and forms two cells. Here we can see first single cell. At last we got two cells. So here the single cell divides to form two cells. Bi means two. Fission means division. Then here Amoeba reproduces by the process of binary fission. Binary fission means one cell divides to form two cells. Single cell divides to form two cells. Okay. First, it divides its nucleus into two. Then, each nucleus holds a piece of cytoplasm and plasma membrane, and then they form two individual cells. Okay. Here, amoeba undergoes division. It produces its young ones. From one mother cell, it gives two daughter cells. So, such a division of amoeba is called binary fission. Binary fission is the asexual mode of reproduction take place in amoeba. Here also we can see that only single parent is involved in the reproduction. Such a reproduction we can term as asexual reproduction. Okay. There are many other types of asexual reproductions that you will study in your higher classes. Okay. Dear students, did you hear the term cloning? Yes. Cloning is the production of an exact copy of a cell, any part of the body, or a complete organism. Do you know the story of Dolly, which is the first mammal produced by cloning? Who introduced the process of cloning, which was introduced by Ian Wilmot? Which is the first mammal produced by Ian Wilmot? That is Dolly. It is a sheep. He produced Dolly in the year 1996, July 5th. Later, many animals produced by the process of cloning. Now let us observe a video.
In this video, I'd like to talk about animal cloning, how they clone Dolly the sheep. Basically, in order to clone another animal, you take a cell from one, then you take an egg without a nucleus, and then basically you get an offspring. But it's a little bit more involved. Dolly was the first animal that was cloned, and Dolly was cloned almost 20 years ago. Here's what happened. Step 1 was to remove a cell from the udder of sheep number 1. They then took this cell back to the laboratory and starved it in order to force it into an almost embryonic state. Next, they took an egg from another sheep, we'll call it sheep 2, and removed the nucleus. Step 3, they used electric shock and fused these two cells together. Step 4, they implanted this fused cell into a female sheep. They actually fused more than 200 cells, and one developed into a full adult. Dolly had the same cells as the original udder cells.
Children, I hope all of you observed the video. In this lesson, we discussed about reproduction in animals. There are two types of reproduction we familiarized, which are sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction. One important difference between sexual and asexual reproduction is, in sexual reproduction, they are involving two parents, one is male and another is female. Whereas in asexual reproduction, it was performed by a single parent. Okay, in asexual reproduction, only single parent is involved. Here we saw sexual reproduction in man, frog, fish, hens, and asexual reproduction in amoeba, hydra, etc. Dears, this is the time to wind up today's session. See you in the next class. Thank you.